Hello there, my name is Tinuke Fawali and I welcome you to this edition of Parenting in Diaspora. Our topic today is top 5 mistakes that immigrant parents make. I'd like to say at this point that the goal of this video series is to ensure that being in the diaspora is the blessing that it was meant to be to all of us and not otherwise. That our families remain intact, that the relationship between us and our children, whether young or older, is loving and wholesome just like it should be. In putting this topic together, I did some research on my own and I also polled some young adults. So these are not my words, they're not my thoughts. These came from our children. And all my sources of information you can find in the description box below. What I also found is that most of us who live in the diaspora have come from Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, and Caribbean for the most part. So this video will be informative to all of us. The first mistake is encouraging only certain courses as career choices. And these career areas have been identified as medicine, law, accounting, engineering, and pharmacy for the most part. And I know that parents encourage these courses because of the long history of stability, the high income, and the prestige that these careers bring. And it's a good thing to aspire for the best, for excellence. It's a good thing to have high expectations of our children. As a matter of fact, we have to. And that's one of the reasons that we gear them towards these courses, and some of our children embrace it already and desire to do these courses. But when we have children who do not desire to be in any of these careers and we force them or coerce them in one way or another to go into these courses, that's where the problem is. The world is changing right now, and there's a world of opportunities that's out there for our children. They can do a lot of things. If we would only take the time to discover the passion that they have, what they have interest in, they will succeed in a lot of areas. There's a quote of John Maxwell that I love so much. It says, "You are discerning and intuitive in the area of your strength and giftedness. And it's easy for you to see what's wrong and what could be done better." So what that means is, if a child is passionate about something, if it's their area of strength, if they are gifted in that area, they will do well. They'll be creative, they'll be discerning, they will see what's wrong and how to fix it, and they will be successful. But we parents need to seek that out in our children. We need to take the time to find out what their passions are. And if they are older and they're already telling us what their passion is, then we need to listen. But if we force them against their will, first of all, they may not be able to reach their highest potential. I think of Oprah right now. She majored in speech communications and performing arts in college. I can just imagine if she was raised in an African household, for instance, she might have been advised to go into law if she was so good in the arts. So today, the rest is history. If she had become a lawyer, I don't believe she would have had the same impact in the world as she does today, or even make the same income. So when we steer our children to areas that are not their strength, they can do well, but they will not reach the highest potential that they could. And then in the worst scenario, these kinds of things have led our children to depression and even to the tragedy of suicide. The second mistake we make is not encouraging communication and open dialogue. Our children want to talk to us, but many times we're not listening. Many times we're not willing to compromise and see things from their point of view. And many times we shut them down and belittle their dreams. So what we need to do is take interest in their dreams and just encourage continuous open dialogue with them and listen to them without being judgmental. The third mistake we made is comparing our children with other children, either their siblings or even children outside the home. So-and-so landed a job here, so-and-so got into this Ivy League. We should not do that. That just destroys our children. We have to know that every child is unique and every child comes with his or her strength, and it's for us to know that area. So when we compliment other children for their achievement, they may be operating in their areas of strength, whereas we're ignoring our children's areas of strength while we are just comparing them with other people. So what we need to do is to continue to encourage and support them. The fourth mistake we make is not teaching our children to speak in their native tongue. And it's a big mistake that most of us have made. It's a regret on our part, and it's a loss to our children. For the most part, most of us living in the diaspora are bilingual. So we have all the advantages that come with being bilingual, but we haven't passed that on to our children. There's a lot of research that has shown that being bilingual actually has a lot of advantages. It is encouraged in child development, and in most public colleges, it is required that a student takes a foreign language to graduate. It is because of all the advantages they know is inherent in being bilingual. There are benefits to the brain, better attention span, ability to focus more and multitask. There are educational benefits, being less distracted. It has health benefits, delaying the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's, and providing faster stroke recovery and lowering stress levels. Being bilingual helps people to be more open-minded. They're able to see the world in many different perspectives. The advantages of being bilingual when we travel is obvious. And now in employment, it's a plus if someone can speak another language. But unfortunately, many of us have denied our children from this benefit. And I believe one of the most important things about being bilingual is that it's actually part of our children's cultural identity. It's part of our cultural identity. And that's the topic that we'll deal with at another time. The mistakes have been made, but they can be corrected, and we just need to find ways of doing that. And that's something we can also talk about another time. And the fifth mistake is not being vulnerable. When we're wrong, it's very difficult for us to apologize. This is what our children are identifying. We don't say sorry. And so if any of us is in that situation and we've done anything wrong to our children, we need to say sorry. Those words are magic to our children's ears. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. If we need to do that, we should go ahead and do it. Because it's amazing what it does in our children, knowing that we're vulnerable enough to know when we're wrong, instead of pretending that we're right all the time when they can see that we're not. We're not vulnerable in showing affection, in actually coming out and saying, I love you. Of course, we love our children. You know, we pay their fees and we do this and the other for them, but they need to hear us say, I love you. I'm talking about those of us who live in the diaspora especially. Most of us grew up in a culture or in cultures where nobody said I love you. The parents didn't say to their children, we all assumed it, and it was okay because that was the norm. But now we live in societies where this is the norm, that parents will show affection to children, children will show affection to parents. And so if we don't do it, it sends the message that we don't love them as much as we claim to do. So we need to be vulnerable in showing affection to our children. It matters to them. And we need to be vulnerable in showing our appreciation. There's a joke that goes around African and Asian communities about children coming home with 98%. And we joke about it because the parents are asking, well, what happened to the other two? The impression that gives is that even though our children do very well, actually excellently well, having a 98%, we are still expecting perfection. We're expecting 100%, which is perfection. That makes them feel that their self-worth is connected to their performance. So we need to show appreciation when our children excel, when our children do well in whatever they do, whether it's academics or otherwise. We need to be vulnerable in showing appreciation to them for their efforts. We don't want our children to look for love and appreciation in the wrong places. If we don't provide it, other people will. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment section below. And if you have any personal experiences you'd like to share, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, and if you'd like to be anonymous, you can just email me at parentingindiaspora@gmail.com, and we can answer those questions there or bring them to the forum if you desire. I'm also asking you to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you can see the videos as soon as they come. And as always, invite your friends. And I thank you for watching. God bless.